I can't believe that this is the 5th year that I'm sitting down to give you the announcement video for Realm of the Readathon, or Realmathon for short. This little brainchild of mine has grown so much in the past 5 years, and I'm so proud of it, and I get prouder every single year with the themes, the concepts, the community aspect. Like, all of you participating brings so much to the Readathon, and so I'm so excited that it's finally here. It's finally time to buckle up and read for your realm. I'll explain everything in a minute, but let's start with the theme. This year, you will all be joining a team that, wait, there's a disturbance? I'm getting some new information. Give me a second. Oh my god. I'll let them know, I guess. The realms have been destroyed, and instead, each of you has been drafted into the Crucible, a deadly competition, where it's your character class against 3 other character classes, and only the strongest will win. You'll have to put your lives on the line, because the strongest characters risk everything to gain XP, leveling themselves up and their team up, while also risking everything to sabotage every other team and taking that XP away from them. I wish you luck, but first you're gonna have to pick a character class. You're gonna have to do a whole bunch of rework to yourselves, figure out who you want to be in the Crucible, aka pick your team, before we can ship you on off to the competition. I don't normally jump into the theme so quickly, but I was really excited about like the theatrics of this. So hopefully I can actually explain it to you now. Essentially, Realmathon has 4 teams that go head-to-head all month long in March. The Readathon runs from March 1st until the last day of March. And you get points by reading books. You either gain XP for your team, or you can take XP away from another team. And you want to be the team with the most XP, which is experience points if you aren't a gamer, at the end of the Readathon. So you want the most XP. I love this Readathon because I love the friendly competition that we get, and I love taking away points from other teams. It's my favorite whenever I get to do it, because I just feel like I am winning. I'm really competitive. And if you're not watching the premiere, hi everyone in the premiere. Gotta get that tradition in. There are timestamps linked down below that should help you figure out where you need to go and explain this in the best way possible for you. Now that you've gotten the theme, a little bit of a quick rundown. We're gonna go through teams, and then we're gonna go through how it actually works and prompts, and then we're gonna go through merch, and then we'll have a frequently asked questions at the end of the video as well. So I want to introduce you to the teams, which also means introducing you to the bonus prompts, because there are 30 prompts for gaining XP and taking away XP, 15 for each category, that I'm gonna explain later on. I call it a prompt bank, but on top of those prompts in that prompt bank, there are also bonus prompts that each team has that might help you select your team. Trust me, this sounds so complicated, but when it comes time to do it all, there's a spreadsheet. You literally fill out a Google form that just asks you some questions and you hit the check boxes. It's so easy. You don't really have to remember most of this. The Google form will all do it for you. It's very, very user-friendly. And if you have questions, there's a Discord. Each host this year did pick their own prompt. So each team has 2 prompts, one by each host. And then on top of that, I couldn't leave myself out. So I also picked a prompt that all 4 teams have access to and can always read for. My prompt is a competition or a trial setting or story. So every time that you read a competition or trial story, you'll get plus or minus 10. The plus or minus is because it depends whether you are personally deciding to gain XP or take away XP. Not sure if you guessed it from the little explanation, but we are playing with character classes. So each team is a broad version of a D&D class or a video game class. You don't have to know anything about video games or D&D to participate in this, by the way. The first type of character class you can choose for yourself, you're essentially like reworking yourself into a character to go into the Crucible, is a mage class. You are a powerful arcane magic user. You may draw your power from a variety of sources, but you will use magic as your main attack throughout your journey in the Crucible. You value power and knowledge, and I need to make it clear that I'm using mage as like an umbrella term for any magic class, essentially, in D&D or video games. Your incredible hosts for this team are On Monica Shelves and Jency Reads. Now, they have picked 2 prompts for you. A book with a school setting will get you plus or minus 10 points if you join this team, as well as a book with foiling on the cover. You can read for all 3 bonus points per 1 book, just so you're aware. If all 3 of the bonus points stack, you can have plus or minus 30 on 1 book. Next up, we have Team Paladin. You value strength, loyalty, and courage. You'll be trained in weapons and endurance, and you'll be using those skills throughout the Crucible. And just like with Mage, I'm using Paladin as a umbrella term for any like soldier class in D&D. I just thought it sounded cool. Now your hosts are Melanor Reads and Deja's Book World. Your prompts are an author you've read from before and a character overcomes / fights injustice. The prompts this year are so good on every team, I can't. How are you guys gonna choose? Our next team is Team Rogues. You value discretion, stealth, and capable, cunning individuals. You'll be trained in the way of the shadows to act without being seen, and you'll use these sneaky skills throughout your journey. Again, I'm using rogues for an umbrella term for essentially the rogue class, so like thieves, assassins, things like that. And your hosts this year are Books with Lexi and Sorry Booked Solid. And now for your team prompts, you have a book with a mystery element and a book off another person's March TBR that's not on your team. I have to clarify this one a little bit because it can be anyone's March TBR. It does not have to be someone participating in a Realmathon, but it cannot be someone on the Rogues team. And for our last team, we have Team Clerics. This is our healing class. I'm using it as an umbrella term for everything healing. Apothecary, druids, shamans. You value compassion, empathy, and knowledge. You're trained in the healing arts, and you'll definitely be using those skills throughout your journey. And for your team leads, we have Tori Between Pages and Good Morning Dreamer. I'm so excited. Just talking about this gives me just joy. Your team prompts are a guilty pleasure book, a book that literally brings you comfort. That's what we're calling a guilty pleasure. And to read a story centered around good versus evil. I told you, the hosts, the prompts, the themes, the teams, how are you gonna choose? I'm so excited to see what everyone chooses. Okay, now how this thing works. Once this announcement is done, I need you to go down into my description and click the link that is a sign up form. I need you to sign up for whatever team you choose. I need those numbers. The links to the sign up form will also be on the Google Doc. I'll also have them in Discord. There is a Discord for everyone to join and yap in constantly and have a lot of fun. You have like secret chats for your team. There is a lot of fun that happens in the Discord. I definitely recommend joining it, although you don't actually need to join the Discord to participate. Everything you need to participate will be linked in this description as of March 1st, because that's when you'll get the submission form for your books. I will not give it out to you early, so the submission form will be down below. On March 1st, it will also be added to the Discord. And once you've signed up, once you've pledged yourself to a team, we normally call them realms, but the realms were destroyed. You get to read books to either increase your team's XP or to take away XP from another team. You cannot do either or. You have to either gain or either take away. You cannot have one book do both. Prompts can be doubled up. You can use 5 prompts per book plus the bonus points that you get on top of that. The bonus points, they're separate. This one is 5 prompts from the prompt bank of 15 that you'll get for either side. So I'll say that again, your prompts must all be negative or must all be positive. Let's say I'm reading We Who Will Die, which is my current read, and I want to gain XP for my team. I'm gonna go into the positive point prompt bank. I'm gonna pick up to 5. I could pick 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 prompts from there, and then also add on my bonus points, and then I'll submit it. If I then decide to pick up another book, let's say I read Rebel Witch, I can then decide to attack another team. I can then decide to take XP away from the other team, and I can go into the negative point prompt bank and find up to 5 prompts for this book. Just this book can't do both and this book can't do both. They have to do one or the other per book. This might feel confusing, but there is a Google form that is so user-friendly that will be live on March 1st. You just go and you essentially take your book and you read through the Google form and you hit check boxes for the prompts you want to use. You don't have to do a lot of thinking. The prompts are on there. You just open it up, put the book title in and go, yep, 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 and you're done. It's very, very, very user-friendly, even though the readathon itself feels like complicated to think about. Submitting your books, participating, very, very user-friendly. And I'd love to say that the community we have is incredible and everyone is willing to answer your questions and help you out. Like, please don't be scared. We have a place in Discord for you to ask questions and so much more. So like, please, please, please ask away and don't let like the complexity scare you away from participating, because I promise you, once it gets going, you're gonna be like, oh, this is really easy. Overview of how you can earn points. You have the prompt bank, which is your positive and your negative gain XP, take away XP. You also have plus or minus 10 for a competition or trial book. And then on top of that, you have plus or minus 10 for each of your 2 team bonus prompts. You will also get points for the page count of the book you read. I've done this because I know there's fantasy readers, there's horror readers, and I feel like across genres we have a different average page count of our stories. I wanted it to feel fair that if you wanted to pick up a 600-page fantasy book over a 200-page thriller book, you wouldn't feel like you were being punished. So if your book is less than 200 pages, you get 0 bonus points. If it's 201 to 400 pages, you get 20 points. If it's 401 to 600 pages, you get 40 points. And if it's 601 to 800 pages, you get 60 points. And if it's greater than 801, you get 80 points. Now these are interesting because they are always positive to your team. It's just easier for me in the math wise to make this one always positive. So this will just always add, it'll make your team gain XP just based on the page count of your book. All of these prompts stack, by the way. So that's the main way that just like reading your books gain points. But there is one more thing. There's always a lot of things happening in Realmathon. Every single year I do a 48-hour readathon called the Gala of Peace. This year it'll run March 13th, 7 p.m. Eastern time, all the way to 48 hours from that start time, which I believe is March 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And during these 48 hours, every single book that you read gets you an extra plus 10 to your team. Just for reading a book, you get an extra plus 10 for doing it during the 48 hour. There's always tons of sprints during this 48 hours. There's always chaotic energy. It's so much fun. It's one of my favorite things that we do. It's always got the best memories that come out of it. So I recommend maybe saving some shorter books for that weekend. I always think that it's a little bit fun just to prioritize that in that one weekend. Okay, that's actually all the information you need of how to participate, but let's go over the prompts because I think it's always fun and exciting to know what the prompts are, and then we'll get into the fun stuff, which is merch in my opinion. Let's start with our 15 positive prompts. So these add XP to your own team. I'm gonna be looking down. I'm gonna look at my computer for this because I do not have them memorized. There are 3 prompts of each value. There are prompts that are worth a little bit more than other prompts, either based on hardness or for me to encourage people to maybe try for that prompt a little bit more. We're gonna start at the top. We have open a loot box, which you will read a book you didn't buy. Now for this can be any book that you literally didn't purchase yourself. From the library, I would count a subscription service like KU where you return the book. You didn't buy the book, you don't get to keep it. Versus on Audible, you get to keep the book because you bought it with a credit. But on like KU, you return it afterwards. It's not like yours to keep forever, if that makes sense. I think people have also counted like a gift card they got because it wasn't their money. Maybe someone gifted you a book. Anything that you can make the case for you didn't buy, count it. I'm gonna tell you right now, the rule of this is always if you think it counts, count it. I'm not gonna argue with people about what counts for a book. If you think it counts, please count it. Just be nice, just be fair. If you would have a problem with someone else counting it, don't count it for yourself. But if you wouldn't, then count it. We're just trying to be fair. It's all about having fun. I think that's the #1 thing we need to remember. Okay, successfully parry an attack, a fast-paced read, whatever this means to you. Shield yourself. Read a sequel. Upgrade your armor class, a book with multiple POVs. More than one point of view in it. Get a buff. Read a book in a different format than your last. So if you read a physical book, in order to count for this prompt, you'd have to read a audiobook or an ebook. If you read an audiobook, you'd have to read an ebook or a physical book. Explore the map. Read an author's backlist. So this means not their most recent book out. So whatever was their newest release, even if it came out 20 years ago, you can't read that one, but you can read anything else from them. Take down a boss, a book with a dystopian setting. Farm XP. Randomize your TBR with a die. You can do this however you want. I just kind of wanted to incorporate dice into it since I was taking a lot of inspiration from D&D and stuff, and rolling a die is a big thing in that. You could take a D6, you can also use a number generator if you need to and you don't have a dice, but there are die rollers online. I'll make sure to have one linked in the Discord and in the description for you. But you could just have every book mean a different number and you roll the die, and if it lands on 6, you read that book. You could have your shelves all be a number and roll the die and whatever whatever shelf it lands on, you get to pick from that shelf however you want. You just have to randomize your TBR in some way with that die. Expose a trap, a structural opening on the cover. So a window, a door, a gate, a structural opening. So like something you'd see in like a house or like a building. Repair equipment, second chances. A little bit up to interpretation. You could reread because that's a second chance on a book. You could retry a book, retry an author, give a second chance to an author. You could even interpret this as a second chance romance. Befriend an NPC. An author's name is 2 lines on the cover. So for example, Stasia Stark on this, 1 line. Kristen Cicerelli, 2 lines. The author's name is 2 lines on the cover. Checkpoint a book with parts. You know when you read a book and it's like part 1 and then you get to the end of part 1 and you're reading part 2? That's what a book with parts means. Heal your teammates. Read a house 5-star read. This can be any of the hosts, including myself. All 9 of us are up. You don't have to be on our team. We have lots of 5-star videos. Wherever we review books on like Goodreads, Storygraph, Fabled, wherever that is, will also be linked in the Discord for you so that you can peruse through our 5-star ratings. Please do not tag us in the Discord and just ask us, but I am hoping to encourage people to learn the taste of the fellow hosts and maybe find some new channels they love and reviewers they love. Make an ally, own voices. This means that the author is writing a perspective that they themselves have. So a Black author writing Black characters, an author with chronic illness writing a character with chronic illness. They are writing their own experiences. They're writing from their own life, their own voice. But specifically, it does have to be marginalized groups. We are trying to lift up their own voices. Get a stat boost, symbols in the title. So for this one, we're looking at like ampersands or apostrophes or anything within the title that is a symbol. I think ampersands are the ones that I see the most. In Flame and Sparrow and is not written out, there is an ampersand symbol. So anytime you see a symbol, I know in Dungeon Crawler Carl, the second book, Carl's Cookbook, Carl has an apostrophe. So something like that. Any sort of symbol that you see in the title. And that is all your positive points. So let's move on to the negative points, the ones that are going to take XP from someone else. We have set a trap, read a pretty book. Pretty is subjective, whatever you find pretty. Exploit a glitch, read using electronics. So audiobook, ebook, somehow you're using electronics. AoE, which is a gaming term for area of effect. Start a series. Betray an alliance, read a recent haul instead of your TBR. Resource drain, more pages than your last book. If you read a 320 page book, your next book to count for this prompt would have to be more than 320 pages. Random encounter, read a book outside of your comfort zone, whatever this means to you. Out of my comfort zone is a scary genre. Sometimes it's an author I've hated before that I'm scared to read this time, like whatever that means to you. Glass cannon, which is a video game term for someone who has a lot of attack, like a very, very strong attack, but a very weak defense. So we're doing a 5-star prediction. Poison dart, a character has a hidden identity. Critical hit, read a book in 1 sitting. Elemental attack, an author writes in multiple genres. There's a lot of romance authors that are now writing romantasy, horror that write fantasy, so anything like that. Close quarters, no the in the title. This counts as the first word, the second word, the third word, the fourth word, the fifth word, the sixth word, whatever. No the in the title. Magic missile, roll a d6 for how many words in the title. You're literally gonna roll a die, and if it lands on 6, you need 6 words in your title. If it lands on 4 words in your title, and so on. Again, there are dice rollers online. Call reinforcements, a POC author. This means the author of your book has to be a person of color. It has to be written by a person of color. Chain attack, read a book that has interconnected world/series. This one's a little more confusing. I'm thinking Cosmere. So you can read the Mistborn series or you could read Elantris. They're all separate series, but they exist in the same galaxy, the same world. More examples of this are the Blood and Steel series and the other series by her. In romance, for example, because this does happen across genres as well, we have something like the Elsie Silver series. They actually do have characters that cross over even though they're brand new series. Not just interconnected standalones, but brand new series. So you can't just like count a romance book and they're like, oh, they follow different characters, but it's in the same series. No, that doesn't count. But like with certain romance authors, like the Bourbon Boy series, I've read that whole series, and then there is a whole other series that you could follow within that same world. Like they cross over. Like we literally go visit those characters in Bourbon Boys. In horror and thriller, I think I've really only seen this with like John Mars, who writes all of his books are interconnected and you see little crossovers in them. If you have questions on this, please let us know. So just think like same concept, like same world, same vibe, but different series, not the same series. And then 1v1 is an icon between the title and the author on the spine. We Who Will Die, there is the title, there is an icon, and then there is an author, versus Flame and Sparrow, we have title and author. There's no icon in the middle. So anything that looks like this, that's like between the title and the author on the spine. It's merch time. So we do have some merch. The first is bookmarks that are available on my Etsy store, which will be linked down below while supplies last. Each team does have their own bookmark that represents them. And of course, they're all holographic foil, and they work so well together this year as a set. I'm absolutely obsessed with them. So first off, we have the Clerics bookmark, which is this beautiful, beautiful phoenix. They are designed this year to look like banners. So like essentially if you walked into your class's like school or like main establishment, you would have these banners hanging in that building. So this is the banner for the Clerics. It's absolutely breathtaking. Like, tell me that that is not absolutely stunning. We have the Paladins that has this beautiful dragon on it and this beautiful ombre. Again, I'm literally obsessed with how this looks. This would be their banner. It's so stunning. We have the Mages, which have these moths on their banner, a little bit celestial moths in this purple and blue. And then we have the Rogues, which have cats, because cats are sneaky. And this one is also stunning in this deeper greenish blue ombre. While supplies last, they will be offered individually and in a set. And I want to say one thing I love about this year's bookmarks. It scratches an itch for me. I don't know if I can hold them all up like this. It's really hard, but they literally fade into each other. These two fade, and then these two fade, and then these two fade. It just scratches an itch. I know no one is displaying their bookmarks like that, but it scratches an itch for me that makes them feel like such a completed set. For the full set of 4, it'll be 32 Canadian dollars, and for just an individual bookmark, it'll be 10 Canadian dollars. And then for the first time, I do have stickers available for any of the reading journal lovers. We have a Crucible sticker, which is a little D&D die with black holographic foil, and it shimmers so nicely, and I think this is going to be perfect for reading journals. I really, really am obsessed with this. You'll be able to find the stickers also on my Etsy store, as well as any of my overstock Patreon bookmarks as well are up there. And then we do also, of course, have merch to wear. I personally am going to be getting this burgundy one. I think it's going to be stunning, and I'm so obsessed with the color combination right now, and I'm so excited for when I get my hands on it and I can wear it. I love when people start posting their pictures, or I just see them out and about like in their merch, like when they're on their Instagram stories or something. It makes me so excited. I love how into everything we get, and it really is such a like fun experience that everyone loves this as much as me. So thank you so much. I would grab those bookmarks and those stickers while supplies last. Like, trust me, just go grab them. The sweaters will be available for the entire next 2 months and they don't sell out, but the bookmarks could sell out. Hi, I actually forgot to tell you guys about one last thing. Every single year on my Patreon, I do a sorting hat in one of the months leading up to Realmathon, which is a mini month-long readathon where you answer some questions, you read for the prompts that you get, and then you get sorted into whatever team your answers led you to. This year, it was so much fun that I have decided to offer this as well on my Etsy store. It was a create a character this year. It's not necessary at all to participate in Realmathon for the month of March, but if you are someone who loves creating a character in video games, in D&D, if you want some extra lore and some extra like thoughts behind who you are for this reading month, you'll enjoy this. So it is a giant PDF that is available on my Etsy store as well. It will just have a bunch of questions for you to answer. You can choose to read for the prompts, or you can just answer the questions, whatever makes more sense for you. And I hope you have a lot of fun with it. I'm very proud of what I created. I do need to put a disclaimer that if you join my Patreon, you also still have access to it. You just would have to find all of the files yourself versus in the PDF format. It's all in one nice place, ready for you to start and read. Okay, that's it. That's all I had to say. I just wanted to shout out this little thing I made because I'm really proud of it. It was a lot of fun. You got to come up with a background and what weapons you're taking into the arena and your animal companions and things like that. And everybody had a lot of fun creating a little like history for their character. So I hope you enjoyed as well. But a reminder reminder to sign up for the Readathon, pledge yourself to a team, and also join the Discord because there's going to be a whole lot of fun stuff. And that's where you're going to get notifications for sprints whenever the hosts go live with reading sprints and stuff, which we do literally constantly during Realmathon. We're in for such a fun month ahead of us. Like, I promise you, it's going to be incredible. So now, thank you so much for watching. And if you don't care about FAQ, I understand. But if you have questions and you're wondering answers to, here's the FAQ. Can I use more than one prompt? Yes, up to 5 prompts per book, not including bonus prompts, but prompts must either be all positive or all negative. Does this book count? Yes. If you think it counts, count it. If you think it doesn't, then don't. Do I have to read for my Realms bonus points? No, these are bonus prompts. You do not have to read for them, but you can. How long is the readathon? The whole month of March. How do I track my reads? There'll be a tracking form which will be available in this YouTube video description, as well as Discord and the Google Doc, as of March 1st. How many times can I use the prompts? As many times as you want, just only once per book. Can we only attack one team or can we attack them all? You will only be able to attack one team per book, but you can switch each book. Like, you can attack the rogues one book, the clerics the next book, the paladins the next book. You just can't attack the rogues and the clerics with one book. How is it fair if one team has more members than the other team? Points are averaged per person on the team, and that is the fairest way I have figured out how to make it. We have to remember this is all for fun. At the end of the day, this is for fun, but it literally doesn't matter how many people are on a team because they're averaged per person on the team. Will I get to choose which realm's power I'm decreasing? Yes, the spreadsheet is user-friendly. The spreadsheet will just ask you and you'll click it. Is there a minimum number of prompts I have to complete for the readathon? No, complete as many or as little as you want. I know some people go like all out and like have a book for every single prompt, and some people like me read a book and then we prompt shop. Can a book I start in February but finish in March count? Please use your discretion for this. If you only finish 10 pages of it in March, maybe don't count it. But if you finish 400 pages of it in March, count it. Just use your discretion. My verbiage is to read a good chunk of it in March. Whatever that means to you, because also it depends on how much you read. Maybe a good chunk for you is 40 pages because you only read 200 pages a month. But maybe you read 2,000 pages a month, 40 pages is not a good chunk. Can a book be a reread? Yes. Do DNFs count? Same thing as before, use your discretion. Would you be angry if someone else counted it? Do you read enough that that DNF feels like it was worthy enough to count? Will we get standings each week? No, I do not give standings each week, but I do give little snippets out in my vlogs every single week, as well as little like teasers and like little things like who attacked who each week the most in all the host vlogs. Just as a way to encourage everyone to watch our vlogs, because we do put a lot of time and effort into this. Okay, I think I'm at the end, so thank you so much. As I said before, please sign up. All the links will be in the description, and I hope we have an incredible, incredible, incredible month together. I'm so excited. It's a great theme. I can't wait. Thank you so much for being here, and have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day.